Gnomens. Gnomens are pieces of geometric shapes that you can attach to an existing geometric shape and cause it to create something new that is similar to the original shape. First, let's write a definition for that. A shape that when... So we would say that G is a gnomon to A if G attached to A, and we can say that in a short way as G and A is similar to A. So if we have a square and we want to think about a shape that we can attach to the square, it doesn't have to be another square. In fact, it won't work if you try another square. Then it's something that'll create a new shape that's similar to the original. And when we think about squares, remember all squares are gnomons of each other. And so you have to have, if you have a small square, you have to have a larger square for it to be, or they're all similar. All squares are similar to one another. So for a square to be similar, you have a smaller square that a similar shape is a larger square. So we have to make a square with whatever we do. So I'm thinking, well, if I add something that's length y onto the edge of this square, I also have to add it onto this side so that the two sides stay the same length as each other. And then I can just make this shape here and fill out. And now I have a square that, say this is S, which means this side is S as well. Then my new shape has a side that's S plus Y, and the other dimension is also S plus Y, as it should be for it to still be a square. And since I know that all squares are similar to one another, then I can just say, well, one side I have to increase by Y, so then this part here that I'm shading is the gnomon to the original square. And I don't care how big the Y is, how long you make it, as long as you do it on both sides, then we'll still have a similar shape. So what shape G can be attached to S to get a square that's similar to S? And so my shape G is, so this is Y and this is Y. This is my shape G. And this side is S. So it's S plus Y along here. And you get the picture that when we attach that to our original S, then it becomes a similar shape. So G here, G is a gnomon to S, because when I attach G to S, the combination, because G and S, the combination of the two together is similar to S. Okay, that's for squares. Let's have a look at some rectangles. So we're starting with a rectangle, and it is a 3 by 9 rectangle, and I want to find the value for C so that when I add on this little piece that's shaded, that it will become a gnomon to the original. And maybe you just call this R, and maybe we'll call this G because it's supposed to be our gnomon. So we have our R and we have our G, and we want to know how long the side of G has to be so that when it's attached to R, that we get a similar rectangle. Now let's think about similar rectangles for a minute. If I have a 3 by 9, that's my original. And then when I attach them together with the gnomon, I'm going to have a 9 by 3 plus C. Now I can't leave it so that my 9 is the one that is corresponding to this original 9. I have to swap it and make it the 3 plus C, because 9, similar to 9, would mean my K was a 1, And if I use a k of 1, then I would have to have 3 times 1 equals 3 plus c, and c would have to be 0, which doesn't make sense. It's not going to work out for us. So we have to have a different length for the two that we're calling corresponding sides. So I had to swap and put my 9 over on the opposite side. But now I do know that I want to make these two the corresponding sides. So I'll have 3k equals 9, divide both sides by 3, and I have k equals 3. And that's awesome because then now I can say 9k equals 3 plus c, and my 3 is the k, so 9 times 3 equals 3 plus c, and I have 27 equals 3 plus c, subtract 3, so 24 equals c. And what that's telling me is that if I let c be 24, then the shape G that's using that, the shape G is going to be a 24 by 9, and that means that I have 27 along that top edge, and that's going to be my long side, 27 by 9. And I'm saying that that's going to be similar to this 9 by 3 that I had to start with. So if I take 9 times 3, I get 27. 3 times 3, I get 9. I can see that those are actually similar. So that's what I came up with my C. And you see I did have to turn it sideways to find my corresponding sides. Okay, let's look at a slightly different version of this and find the value of x, and here's my x, so that the shaded rectangle in the figure below is a gnomon. So we'll call that one the G, and then this one will be our R, and we'll say that's a gnomon to the white rectangle. So R has dimensions 12 on the long side, 8 on the short side, and that whole big shape that I'm putting together, this side I have to add up a few values to see. I have to add the 8 and the 3 and the 1, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's going to have 12 for that side. And across the top, it's going to be 12 plus 2. Let's see, maybe if I change colors, that'll help a little bit. So I have 2 plus 12 plus x, and so that's going to be 14 plus x for the length of the other side. So I want to correspond to, on this big one, I am going to kind of change it up again, and I want the 12 not to go with the 12 that I already have because that's going to cause me some trouble. So, but I want 8 to 12, those can be corresponding, these two. And then the 12 will correspond with the 14 plus x. And that should work out. So let me change my pen back and we'll see. First thing, I want to correspond 8 times some multiple gives me 12. And so if I divide both sides by 8, then my k is, let's see, I can divide by 4. And that'll give me 3 halves. So my k is 3 halves. So then when I correspond this last pair of sides, I have 12k equals 14 plus x, and my k is 3 halves, so I'm going to put that in. So I have 12 times 3 halves, so the 2 goes into 12 6 times equals 14 plus x. Then I have 6 times 3, that's all that's left on the left-hand side, so I have 18 equals 14 plus x, subtract 14 from both sides, and I have 4 equals x. So what that's telling me is that if I use 4 for the x, then the shaded area, Let's see if I can do it in color for you. So I'm using 4 for that X, and that's telling me that that shaded area will be 4 on that dimension, 2 on the other, 1 above and 3 below, and it will become a gnomon to the original white rectangle. And that means that this 14 plus X will be the 14 plus 4, which is 28. So I'll have a 28 by 12 for outside dimensions, and that should be, if I look at it here, 12 and 28. If I multiply 8 times 3 halves to get 12, then if I take 12 times 3 halves, you get, oh my gosh, really? So 14 plus 4 is going to give me 18. So then I have a 12 by 18 rectangle that I'm saying is similar to this 8 by 12 that I started with, the white one inside. And so I know 8 times 3 halves is 12. So if I take 12, which is my other side here, 12 times 3 halves, I should get 18, and 6 times 3, so I get 18, and that is my other side. So 4 is the value that I need for the X.